Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I want to give you the top 3 reasons you should be using a BOSU, the piece of equipment that I'm going to show you in a second. You should be using the BOSU both with yourself when you train and more importantly with your clients. But first, before anything, if you have not done so, please subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you head over to our Facebook page as well. So let's get started. Now, yes, I actually have the BOSU and I'm going to show it to you. So here you go. This is the one that I use. Okay. This is the guy that I use. And yes, it's beat up. Of course it's beat up. I've had this thing for 20 years, 15, 20 years, something like that. It's one of the best pieces of equipment to go along with your training or the training modalities. But the BOSU, as you notice, has a dome side and a platform side. And I use both. I'll have it on the platform and the dome side up and over, and then I'll turn it upside down and do exercises like that. Now, what are the three main reasons you should be using the BOSU? First and foremost, balance training. Okay, it's called, or the term we normally use is that a BOSU creates what's known as a proprioceptively rich environment. In other words, when you stand on it, whether it's on the platform side or you're on the dome side itself, you're unstable, which means your body has to compensate for that instability by using muscles that it would never normally use when you're standing flat on the ground. And that increases your balance capability. Do this with your clients. Now, of course, be very careful, because if you do the BOSU with the platform down and the dome side up, you want to make sure that that dome component is very well inflated, because if it's not, there can be too much give and there's a potential for injury. But if you inflate it really well, you can have a nice environment, proprioceptively rich environment that the client can stand on and have a little bit of, imbalance going. Now, for those clients that are a little bit more advanced, you can turn that BOSU up on its dome side down and then have a platform. So you help them stand on it. And when they stand on that platform, they've got to kind of balance themselves, because that dome side creates an inconsistency that makes you go wobbly, forward and backward. It's a great way to increase balance. Just be very careful with your clients. So that's number one. Either way, dome side up or dome side down, standing on the platform, it's great for balance training. So very, very important. And your clients need that. You need it as well. And there's so many ways to use that component when you're doing different exercises. For instance, I can have somebody on the dome side up. If the dome side is up, I can have them stand on it, right? And have them do, throw some punches or do something. They can even do some dumbbell work with it. I can then turn it up on its dome side down with just a platform, and I can do the same thing. And it has a different effect overall on the balance training element that I'm trying to develop with my clients. So that's number one. The second is the idea of using, now there's 2 main closed kinetic chain movements. This is what I'm getting at. There's 2 main ways we do the BOSU with the platform up, and it's going to be using it for push-ups and for squats. So the 2 main closed kinetic chain movements that you really want to use the BOSU with to enhance overall development of the training effect or increased training effect is to use that BOSU with the platform side up and perform your 2 main closed kinetic chain movements, right? Push-ups and squats. So generally you do push-ups on the ground, and that's great. But here's what you want to do. And one of the best ways to use the BOSU is with the platform side up is I grab the outside of the platform and I do my push-ups like that. And because I'm doing that, it's forcing me to stabilize my shoulder joint and my shoulder girdle complex. So now you're grabbing onto the side and you're basically doing your push-ups using the platform, the outside of the platform, instead of having your hands on the ground. Great way to train your upper body. And like I described previously, standing on that platform, which causes you to balance like this and doing squats. right? So do your squats on that platform, and it forces your body, right, to utilize muscles, particularly in the lumbopelvic area and the ankles, by the way, to develop increased stabilization strength. So that's number two. So first is just overall balancing, right? Standing on it, dome side up as well. The second is doing the two main, what I would consider to be the two main closed chain movements that we normally do with clients, push-ups and squats, right? And doing it using the platform side up, hanging onto the handles, and of course, just standing on and doing your squats like that. What is the third? Well, the third is using the dome side up for some cardio training, right? Doing up and overs. And that is probably the one movement training that I do on the regular when I end a workout, or if I'm just doing just cardio for whatever reason during the day. I will do up and overs, and up and overs with the BOSU are very, very effective. Why? Because, and I'm talking about having the dome side up. When you do an up and over, meaning I jump up and over, right, one side to the other, what I'm doing is I'm easing the impact on my foot, ankle, knee, and hips when I actually jump up onto that BOSU. Remember, I think it's polyethylene that it's made of. This thick rubber provides cushioning, the cushioning effect that actually decreases that pounding that you would get by that initial jump. And I kind of like that it gives me a nice, smooth, fluid motion from one side to the other. And that's the third reason why I really highly recommend that you use the BOSU. The first one is just for standard balance training itself. Basically, any exercise you do standing, you can do on the dome side or even the platform side. Second is specifically using that platform for push-ups to stabilize the upper body, and then for squats when you're doing the lower body. And then the third is to use that dome side component, dome side up, to do things like up and overs that allow for a little bit more cardio effect. So there are your top three reasons. You better be using that BOSU piece of equipment. It's great. It's fantastic. I probably use it every single day for myself. And for clients, it's one of the main go-to pieces of equipment. Now, look, if this was helpful, write the word understand. If you understood what I was going over and you understand why I think there are three really good reasons to use the BOSU, write the word understand in the comments section. If you want to become a certified, qualified personal trainer, then please go ahead and click on the link in the description box below. If you have any questions about any of the other videos that we have also done in this particular venue, please go ahead and let us know if they were helpful as well. And the other thing is that if you have any questions, or you want some content done, a particular area of interest or something that's you're just not getting, then please, in the comments section below, let us know. Be more than happy to add it to the list of content that we do. Also, keep in mind, we do a Quizlet live exam study every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. It's very important that you remember that studying using Quizlet is one of the most effective ways to get this information and material into your gray matter. So we do it over and over and over. Increased exposure frequency to terminology and concepts is one of the ways to help you remember the material, particularly that you'll need to know in your pursuit to get your certification. So go ahead and jump on board every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you got any questions or comments, we'd love to hear about them. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.